What's up, YouTube? Tombraider here with a review. Alright, this time I'm reviewing Tombraider, the new Tomb Raider game, the reboot, not anything old. But yeah, if you were aware, unless you've been living under a rock for like the past year, you would have known that Tomb Raider was getting a reboot, which is pretty awesome. As far as like, did the game need a reboot? Let me learn English here. I'm not exactly sure, because I never played the old Tomb Raider, so I don't really know if it needed a reboot, if this was a much needed reboot. But I can say that the fact that they did reboot it and change it up a little bit, it got me interested in the series. It actually got me interested. So I probably can say yes, that the game did need a reboot and needed a just needed to redo a couple things. It didn't really redo a couple of things, but it just basically, reboot. That's all it was. Kind of like, just a reboot. So basically, this game is a prequel, in a way. It's a prequel to, it isn't a prequel because it's a reboot, but it's basically starting from the beginning of, the protagonist, Lara Croft's lives, and showing you how she became a Tomb Raider, basically. What is it called? It's just a person who goes hunting for treasure, like, whatever. And starts before that, you're on a ship. The ship crashes onto a island, and your whole crew's scattered across the island and stuff. You gotta help them out. And there's people on the island that are evil. They want to kill you. They want to find you and kill you, and you gotta basically just help your friends out, get off the island, and survive. That's pretty much what you gotta do. So that's it for story, pretty decent story. I thought the story was alright. I didn't think it was anything too like, whoa, no real big twists and turns and stuff like that, but it was pretty interesting. It kept me actually like, what's going to happen actually, but, standard. Alright, now I'll start talking about the, positives of the game, just get them out of the way, then I'll start talking about some of the negatives. There's not really too many negatives, but let's just get it started. So I believe where this game really shines is not in like the graphics, not in the exploration, not in the treasure finding. I think it's a simple little mechanic. The combat is what really makes this game stand out, not the huge action sequences. The combat is what really made me want to keep playing this game. The fact that I did make a video on this showing you some examples, but this game has a really nice, it feels so fluid, it feels so responsive. There's no delay, there's no you click a button and the character sits there for like a half a second. It does it right away. Hope my audio is not popping. You're not hearing slurring with my voices. My mic is kind of away from my face. Hopefully that'll fix it, or keep it from popping. But anyways, let me get to this. I don't really know how to start explaining it, but basically this game enemies. I play the game on hard as difficulty. On hard, I'm not sure if there's another difficulty that you can unlock. It doesn't seem like there is, because I already beat the game, and I did play it on the hardest difficulty the first time through, which I think is a good idea to do that, because this game is not like difficult. It's not like oh my god, this game's fucking impossible, but it is challenging. The game is almost not required, but it allows you to use every move at your disposal. It allows you to use any kind of gun, any kind of maneuver that you have. It doesn't if you play a lot of third-person shooters, a lot of times you're sitting there ducked out and covered the whole time because enemies are just aimed at you. In this game, it's not like that. They are aimed at you. They can, if they see you, they're like, oh, there you are, and they'll start shooting at you, but they don't always hit you, which is a nice feature to the game. It's a nice little change to most games. Because one thing, in real life, if you want to really play an action game in real life, like a real life action game, where you're getting shot at, they're not always going to hit you, but in like a lot of games, they always hit you. It seems like they're always just so accurate. That's kind of like overwhelming. It's like, come on. So you have to sit there and hide. You have to pull out your little try-hard guns and sit there and peek out every now and then. Boom, boom, boom. This game has you moving constantly, ducking behind cover and then coming out and getting to another bit of cover. Enemies will try to throw grenades at you to bomb you out of wherever you're hiding. You can get up to the enemy and melee them, and then if they're shooting arrows or guns at you, you have this little feature or this little mechanic where you scramble instead of like dodge rolling. And this game is called scrambling. You can double click it and you will scramble and then dodge roll if you click the button a quick second time. So that's a nice little thing. It's not like, it's a nice feature. I mean, I think a lot of games need to really like say, okay, that's what we need to start doing for our games, not making them so difficultly impossible. But the thing that I'm saying is that it lets you use any gun in the game rather than just like, oh, I can only use my pistol here, or oh, I can only use these sniper rifles. This game doesn't have sniper rifles, but you know what I mean. A lot of games, if you go back and play Uncharted 1, you'll get to the end, you get to the area where you're trying to go through. I mean, I don't know. If you just play that game, you'll know what I'm talking about on the hardest difficulty. Play that game on crushing, and you'll see like, okay, this is kind of annoying how these guys are so accurate and they just don't miss. You know, it's annoying at times. You know, I'm not saying that the game can't be difficult. You know, you can do that. You can have like an even harder difficulty and make them like just accurate, but they don't have to be accurate, like godly accurate. You know, on a normal or a hard difficulty. On a extremely hard difficulty, yes, just to challenge you. But sometimes that is annoying when you have to, like, you know, camp up in a game that's supposed to be fun. I don't want to camp up. That's not fun to me. So I'm probably going to stop talking about this now. I don't know. There's a lot I can just say and praise about the combat in this game. It's amazing. So yeah, the next topic is something interesting. Alright, now, so the next part is the action sequences in the game. Like, the reason why I'm talking about this is because this is a pretty big feature in any kind of action, third-person action adventure game. Okay, so basically, Uncharted is known as, like, the game with these amazing cinematic sequences. Not cinematic, but sequences where you're like, you know, there's like people shooting at you, you're falling off rocks and stuff, falling off buildings, trying to climb up a huge tower. That game's known for that. This game, Uncharted was inspired by Tomb Raider. Basically, it's like the action-packed male version of Tomb Raider. And then Tomb Raider for boot comes out, and it's inspired by its old self, but also with Uncharted's action. So basically, it's just an action-packed older Tomb Raider with, you know, enhanced graphics and all that beautiful stuff. Now, this is probably where I'd say the negatives, not negatives, but not like just like, you know, I don't think it's the game's strong point when they kind of were stressing that it would be. But I don't think this game, I still think Uncharted basically is the king of action, of, you know, just falling off a building and having these huge things exploding. This game does kind of rehash a couple of things, like you're sliding down this cliff. They do redo that sometimes. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see. Like one time I was sliding down a waterfall or something, and it was kind of difficult to see what I was looking at, and, you know, it was like, what the heck? I died a couple times. It's like, oh, come on, I didn't see that there. And it does kind of borrow a lot from Uncharted, but you can't knock it for that because Uncharted also borrowed from Tomb Raider, so you can't really say. As far as which game's better, neither. They're both amazing. I'm going to play Uncharted 4. I'm also going to play Tomb Raider 2 whenever that comes out, if there is one. If they don't ever make one, that's a mistake, because these two games really should be I think action adventure games should be the games that dominate next generation. They should become the FPS of this generation and the JRPG of last generation and the platformer of the generation before that. Action adventure games like Tomb Raider and Uncharted should be, and The Last of Us, they should be the granddaddy, omega, ultimate genre. So hopefully they don't oversaturate it, of course, but, you know, Yeah, okay, so basically I'm just going to wrap it up. This game is amazing. If you're on the fence about it, I think whenever, I'm not sure when it is, I'm making this video on March 8th. I think God of War comes out tomorrow. If you were deciding to get God of War over this game just because you're like, oh man, I kind of want God of War more because I would just get Tombraider, like, then no. Let me look. I was looking at a lot of comments. People were saying they're going to get God of War over this game, over Tombraider. No, absolutely not. You should not do that. That is a mistake to get God of War over this game, because you know what you're going to get with God of War. You already know this game will give you some, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but if you don't get this Tombraider game, then you're missing out on a great experience that you'll probably never ever get to see again, or that you probably will if they make more, but that you'll, oh, actually in a couple of the next like 4 days God of War comes out. But if you miss out on this experience now, then you'll kind of regret it, because you're like, dang, I could have played that game back in the day, but I'm doing it now 5 years later. You know, it's kind of like you're wasting a good opportunity to get into it now rather than later. So I think I'm just going to wrap this review up. Ultimately, a great game, great graphics. Actually, graphics are great. Graphics are great. I was about to say no, they're not, but then I was thinking, like, why aren't they great? So the combat is the main greatest feature of this game that every game should adopt, or every game should look at and be like, that's what we need to do. Graphics are amazing. Action sequences are not the best, but they're not bad at all. Basically, if Uncharted didn't do it first, this game would have been the king of it, queen, whatever you want to say. Story is great. Replayability. There's a lot of things you can collect. I don't know if you want to replay the whole game again. You probably could, because I don't think it's a really long game. So you can skip cutscenes, and you know exactly what to do. Great game, amazing. Ultimate score, or my conclusion, I give it a 4.5 out of 5, because I don't think it's the greatest, most magnificent game I've ever played. That's why it doesn't get a 5. And basically, that would be saying it was a perfect game, which no game's perfect except for like a couple. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked this review. Let me know what you think. Do you like it too? Do you hate it? Why do you hate it? And that's it. Thanks for watching.